Hello and welcome to Cornwall, and this evening I've come to beautiful Boscastle to take some pictures of the harbour. And I'm also going to be talking about these filters, whose filter system I use and why I use them. It is a beautiful summer's evening here in Cornwall, and what better place to spend it than Boscastle. It's really warm, I've got the sun in my face here, I've got luscious green grasses, I've got a bit of heather there, and I've got that beautiful turquoise sea. It's a really picturesque location to take photographs. In fact, I've been here a number of times. In fact, one of my first ever 5-minute photo adventure videos was actually taken right here in Boscastle. I'll include a link for that in the screen in the corner above. But I've taken a number of compositions here, but I've got a reasonably good idea of what I want to shoot tonight based on what the weather is going to do later on. Let me talk you through it. Okay, composition. The biggest element in my composition this evening is going to be the harbour. The harbour is absolutely beautiful. It's full of turquoise water. The tide is high. It'll probably be just on its way out by the time we get near to the kind of sunset hour, but it'll still be plenty of water in it. And it's a beautiful S shape. And that's going to create a nice leading line through my composition out to the headland, out to the rocky island out there. It's going to make a really nice midground and then background. For the foreground, I'm on this kind of rocky outcrop up here high on the hill. Unfortunately, there's no heather about here, but that rocky face has some nice shapes there. There's a little triangular shape there, and hopefully when that sun gets a little bit lower down in the horizon, I might get a nice bit of golden light on that rock. And altogether, it's just going to be a matter of positioning all those elements to create a really nice, pleasing composition. But let me talk about how the weather is perhaps going to impact my composition tonight. As with any landscape photograph, the weather is going to have some sort of impact on it. Now, you can tell at the moment I'm wearing shades now, and that's not because I want to look cool, it's because the sun is really bright and high in the sky at the moment. But it's about 2 hours before sunset, so as that time progresses, that sun is going to swing down that way, and as it gets towards the horizon, it should then be about sort of 45 to 90 degree angle to where I'm going to position the camera. At that point, the light should also be a lot softer and might give me some nice warm tones. Now, if you look at the sky, it's looking quite blue, but there's actually quite a reasonable amount of high-level cloud there, and there's more forecast to come in as the evening progresses. Now, this is what I'm hoping is really going to happen is, as that sun sets over there and the nice warm light comes in, that's going to bounce off the underside of that high-level cloud, give me hopefully some nice pink or some orange clouds, and that should go really nicely with my nice turquoise sea harbour down there. Well, that's the hope anyway. We just have to keep our fingers crossed. Okay, we've discussed composition, we've discussed weather. All we need to do now is wait for the right time to take pictures, which I think this evening will be roughly sort of 30 minutes before sunset and around 30 minutes after. That's where I'm hoping I'm going to get the best of the light. So I've got a couple hours before all that starts, so I'm just going to kind of chill out a little bit, have something to drink, have something to eat, get myself ready for the evening. And because normally what you find is when you've got that only 1 hour window, things become quite hectic. So I'm going to get in the zone and sort of chill out a little bit. While I'm sitting here chilling, let me talk to you about filter systems. Now, I've recently changed filter systems. Now, nothing untoward about that. I actually had a little accident with some of my filters, which meant I was going to have to replace quite a lot of them. So I decided that I was going to have a look at the market and actually just see what other filter systems that are out there. I mean, I've been with my current filter system for years and years, so I haven't really looked about to see what else was out there that was maybe cheaper or maybe even better. Now, the system I went for in the end was the Kase filter system. You can tell here by that red cap. Now, I wasn't given the filters by Kase, and they're not sponsoring me or anything like that, so I bought all the kit that I'm going to talk about, I bought with all my own money. But let me tell you some of the reasons why I really like the Kase filter system. Okay, here's what I like about the Kase filter system. So I'll take the lens cap off there. So I've already got the adapter ring on it. And the first filter I'm going to look at is the circular polarizer. Now, for me, this is going to become particularly useful for tonight because I'm going to want to control the glare that's coming off that water there, off that sea, and really help me saturate those turquoise colours. Now, this is what I really like about this. it's magnetic and it just clips on like that. How easy is that? That's brilliant. What's next? Ah, yes, the filter holder itself. That just goes on the adapter ring, and then you just turn that knob and that tightens it up, and then that's it on. That is not coming off. That is not getting knocked off. That's brilliant. The other thing I really like, got a rotating knob there, and that allows me to rotate the polarizers to control the amount of polarization I want. Really useful. Now, what else have I got? I've got a number of filters as well. I've got a 10-stop neutral density filter for really long exposures, 6-stop neutral density filter for slightly long exposures. Probably use that one tonight. I've got a couple of grads. I've got a hard edge grad and a medium edge grad. I might use those tonight. We'll have to see how things are going. I don't really need any more grads than that, I think. I used to have a lot more, but since moving up to the Nikon D850, I'm finding the dynamic range a lot easier. So there's a lot more dynamic range, and so controlling variances between sort of foreground and background are a lot easier. So I don't need them as much, but I still need them. And of course, you can't replicate the effect you get from a polarizer. So that's a pretty essential bit of kit anyway. So whatever filter you're using, it goes into one of the slots there. You can put that in there. And if it's a grad and you need to rotate it, you can unscrew the thing and then you can rotate that and then lock it into place. Brilliant. The other good thing about these filters, they're pretty tough. Oh, get it out. Pull it out, that is. Made of glass. Apparently you can drop them and they shouldn't break. Now, I'm not going to test that. I'm not that brave. But one thing I have noticed as well is when they get wet, they're really easy to keep clean, really easy to get the fingerprints off. A lot easier than my previous filter system. So I really like these. So yeah, that's it. That's my Kase filter system. I'm really happy with what I've bought, my purchasing decision there. And hopefully we're going to put them to some really good use tonight. Okay, I hope you found that little chat about filters useful. If you've got any questions about the Kase filter system or filters in general, please do leave me a comment below. And also, if you want to know what my workflow is for using filters, and especially neutral density filters for doing long exposures, I actually did a video probably a couple of years ago now. So my presentation style is maybe a little bit more wooden, but it's still, my process hasn't changed really over the last few years. So if you want to check that out, I'll include a link for that in the corner of the screen. I really hope you're enjoying this video so far, and if you are, please do consider hitting that like button. I would really appreciate it. And if you are enjoying this video, please also leave me a comment. I do try and read and reply to everyone's comments. And if you perhaps want to see more content from myself, why don't you also consider hitting that subscribe button? And if you do, or if you're already a subscriber, remember to click on that little bell icon as well. That way you'll receive a notification as soon as I post up a new video. But the next time I speak to you, we're going to be taking pictures. Right, welcome back. We're getting near to crunch time now. The sun is a lot lower down than the horizon, and I reckon about 30 minutes and the action is really going to start. I've decided to get my camera out now and start working on some composition. So the first one that I'm going to look at is this vertical composition I've got here. Like I said earlier, I'm using these triangular rocks as a kind of leading line out into the bay there, out into the harbour. I've got my polarizer on. That's having a nice impact on the sky and the sea. Just put a grad on for now. It's still quite bright in the sky. It might take that away later on when it comes to taking the proper shot, but at the moment it's helping balance the exposure. The light is actually getting quite warm now as well. Now, I've put the tripod up quite high in this vertical orientation as well. I'm just using the extension here. This is because I want to get separation from the rocks, and there's a small curvy bit of the harbour there. Otherwise they kind of blend into two, and by getting the tripod a little bit higher, I've got some nice separation. I can see the rocks, I can see the sea, and I can see that bit of the pier. So that's quite important to just check around the frame as well. I have had a quick look in landscape orientation. I don't like it quite as much, but that's at the moment because it's still, like I say, still quite bright in the sky. I think I'll be able to change that once the sun gets a little bit lower. But a couple of test shots and things are looking pretty good already, so I'm pretty hopeful. Right, so I've just quickly flipped the camera into a landscape orientation and I'm taking a couple of pictures, but I don't think I like it quite as much, even though I can get some of the island in. I think I prefer the vertical composition. I think it works better as a taller format where you get more of the foreground rocks and the S-curve looks slightly better. But I'm going to take a few shots to see how it goes, but I'm probably going to quickly switch back to the vertical composition for the last bit of the light. The sun has just dipped below a bank of cloud, actually. It's not quite reached the horizon. I did a few minutes ago get some nice light on the hills there and a little bit of light on the rocks, so some of my earlier shots actually might be one of the better shots, but I don't think I'm going to get the burst of colour that you sometimes get at the end of a sunrise, but you never know. It's worth hanging about. Going to take a few more shots. Fingers crossed again. Okay, so I think I've lost the light now. The sun has gone down below the horizon. It's not illuminating the landscape anymore. So I think I've had the best of it. I didn't quite get that burst of light that I was hoping for towards the end. But still, looking back through my images, probably some of my earlier ones were actually some of the better ones when I had the good light on the hills and the foreground. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them all up on the screen and you can let me know which one your favourite is. But I think my time here at Boscastle has unfortunately come to an end, but it's been a really pleasant evening and I hope you've enjoyed this video and I'll see you in the next one.